All right, Mike, if you want to go ahead and start us off.
Nice. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us here. Very kind of informal, but we really just wanted to kind of give everybody a chance to ask questions, talk it over. But this is really to help us find instructors for LTAP and for a number of different uh, programs that we offer. And we figured that after talking it over, we thought this might be one of the better ways to kind of put the potential people in contact with some of our actual instructors. So my name is Mike Ebislagi. I'm the instructor for LTAP, and I'll turn it over back to Natalie here. Just let her
And I'm,
introduce.
I'm Natalie Niskanen, Senior Program Coordinator. I work pretty closely with Mike kind of on the back end, sort of administrative stuff. We're putting together a new instructor sign up program, if you will, to try to keep things organized and automated and make things flow as easily as possible. So Mike and I work pretty closely on that, and also on whatever Mike needs as far as keeping everybody has all their, making sure all the instructors have their supplies and things like that. And we work together on putting this together for you all. And so we'll start with an overview of just the position, what the requirements are, what we're kind of looking for, and then we'll go into a roundtable discussion. We've got several instructors here with us today. They're off camera while we're presenting, and then we'll bring them on, and then we'll have a discussion with them, and you can feel free to ask questions at that time. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Mike.
Sounds good. All right. Oop, there we go. So what is LTAP? The one thing that even when I first got involved with LTAP, it's one of the common things that we get asked a lot when we go to presentations or different conferences. What exactly is LTAP? And our LTAP, we're designed to help support our local agencies. It is local technical assistance programming. It's about improving local agency skills, sharing transportation knowledge, innovation, and really just kind of overall best practices. The goal is to really kind of foster that safe, efficient, and environmentally sound transportation system. So we conducted a number of different workshops, seminars, conferences, customized trainings, demonstrations, all distant learning. We publish newsletters. We maintain a website with extensive resources from videos to, you name it. And it really is all about to support local agencies and doing whatever we can to assist them.
And I'll just jump in and say that we try to do as much as we can with low to no cost to those agencies. So we're really here to try and um, keep things as inexpensive and support folks in that way as well.
Yep. So now just to kind of get down to kind of the brass tacks of it, because we don't want to tie up whole lot of everyone's time, but instructors, what are we looking for in instructors? We're seeking multiple contract instructors to deliver any of the following from work zones, culverts, work zone meaning like temporary traffic control, flagging courses, culverts, culvert installation, maintenance, inspection, gravel roads, asphalt pavement, gravel road maintenance and design, asphalt pavement rehab, products, different processes, strategies, extending pavement life through pavement preservation techniques. And again, coming back to best practices, new strategies, preventative maintenance, um, pavement preservation for HMA pavements, crack sealing, chip sealing, microsurfacing, and one one big one, if anyone is interested, motor grader operator. We're working on that one, but we have a long list um, of people looking for this type of training, just because from what we've kind of learned here recently, like that's kind of a trade where people age out of it, and there's not a lot of um, younger people coming into that. So we do have right now, I think the list is about 25 of people or agencies looking for that type of training as well. Hmm. All right, qualifications for instructors. We're pretty flexible on the qualifications. Obviously, some of the basics like experience with subject matter is always beneficial. It just helps to build that credibility. Experience teaching is helpful, but it isn't necessary. The desire to teach is probably more important because that's kind of my role, and I'll get into my role here in one of the next slides. But the desire to teach really is kind of the important part.
And I'll just throw in here too that we have a lot of these curricula already built. And as instructors, you're able to change things as you see fit or customize to the agency depending on what the subject matter is. You know, if an agency is like, ah, we don't do that, you're great, skip this part, let's spend a little bit more time here. So that's part of, bringing in your expertise certainly there. But for all of these, a lot of these, I'll say we have a curriculum ready to go. I'll say, especially for the temporary traffic control. We've got a curriculum that you can ready to hand to you to deliver. So just thought I'd jump in with that.
Yeah, no, and we defer to your experience, because there is no substitute for, that firsthand experience and that's what, all of the instructors that we do have that will have come onto the roundtable later, all bring that to the table as well. Okay, instructor pay and incentives. $75 an hour plus travel expenses. Most of the sessions now, I believe, are $450 for each session. Um, you get a one-time apparel reimbursement up to $150. So that way, you're kind of branded with what fits you best with University of Minnesota apparel. Um, and I think one of the other really important pieces with this is the flexibility. Um, we ask you to sign up for what works for your schedule, and it's really, you get to choose because we have a number of different trainings that happen all over the state. And if you, for whatever reason, don't mind traveling and you want to check out a different part of the state than what you're used to, we more than likely will have something there as well. But really, it's kind of what works best for your schedule, and everybody knows their own schedule the best. Um, but the flexibility part, I think, is really what is a good draw, and we'll let some of the instructors, you can ask the instructors later. Um, In-house support, that's kind of my role. So my background is in coaching youth, but also teaching, mentoring. My background's in education, and really that's kind of my role. I'm here to help support you with and however you need. I have a number of different resources that are uh, that pertain to adult learners as well, and it's not just student. So, um, what else? Anything we're missing there as far as in-house support, Natalie?
I don't think so, but we're great. We're grateful to have you, Mike. Um, Great. Glad you're here. And maybe some of the other instructors on the call on the roundtable can talk about what it's been like to work with you. So
Well,
please circle back
maybe
to that.
not. Okay, so instructor materials. We make sure that everybody has what you need to be successful. Um, Starting off with, we'll just start with some of the physical stuff here. Like you get an LTAP laptop if it's something that you need. You get a name badge with your name on it, with LTAP on it. You get the approved curriculum to instruct the course. So you're not starting from square one. For temporary traffic control, you get a flash drive or a memory stick that has all of the curriculum right on it in case you run into a connection problem or something just isn't working right. Technology works until it doesn't. Um, for traffic control, you also get a full set of laminated layout materials, carrying case. So that way, when you do into like what's on the screen here, what you see is these are the tabletop layouts. So then our instructor, Chris here, he'll present a scenario for traffic control, and then these playing cards along here they'll set up an actual work zone scenario. And all of those materials are provided, like I said, flash drive. And really, we also offer you that flexibility to customize that curriculum. So that way, if an area that you're instructing in doesn't have a 4-lane divided highway, you don't have to really cover that. You really just customize it to what the requesting agency is looking for. So that way it honors their time, honors your time. Yeah. All right, the hiring process. Email Catherine, my supervisor, Catherine Stanley. You can contact her. That's her email is in the lower left there. And what we'll do is we will set up a Zoom interview with Catherine, myself, and we'll kind of talk through it a little bit, very informal, nothing official, just to make sure that you get a full understanding of. Catherine's great with dealing with the HR side of it and the time card side of it. And no, so we just kind of informally go through the whole process there, and then we kind of talk it over and make a determination if it's something that you're interested in. And then we go ahead and continue the hiring process where you get into, we'll send you the link for it, but umn.edu /LTAP jobs. And everybody, unless you have a U of M email account, would be an external applicant. And that will bring you to, for example, here, the work zone traffic control and safety training field instructor. Click on apply for job, the button, and really, I don't think I've heard of anybody that had an issue applying for it. Maybe I don't, but it seems to be a pretty straightforward process. And maybe one of the other instructors can chime in later for a little bit more information on that. But
And then I'll just chime in here too that if you're a contract instructor, it's a different situation. You're not filling out the online job application. That's we're setting you up with your W-9 and everything else and getting the invoicing set up too. So separate process there, but we would work with you separately on that.
well, that kind of leads us to that kind of, I don't know, I think that's really kind of a lot of the information that we have. That leads us right into the roundtable discussion part of it. We have a number of different people on here that were willing to help us out and kind of give you the opportunity to ask them questions. Like, if it's a complicated hiring process or what made them apply. But no, really, and that's kind of the bare bones of this is we wanted to help alleviate any concerns or any any reasons that maybe if you've been thinking about doing this for a while, we want to make sure that you get a chance to ask the hard questions.
Thanks,
So,
Mike. So if you want to bring everybody on with your cameras, and then maybe we could stop sharing so everybody can
yep.
be seen here.
All right, stop share. All right. Natalie, you driving?
I'm not.
All right, what am I hitting here?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, we can just start with maybe everybody. I'll go around and have everybody introduce themselves. Maybe just a 1 minute. What's your name? What program do you work with? And what's your job type? And how long have you been with, like, are you part-time, contract? What do you do? And then how long have you been with LTAP? And just in no particular, just starting from my left side, Tom Nelson.
Tom Nelson. I'm with the Truck-Weight Education Program. I've been at the program since 2017. We lateraled to the U of M in 2021, I believe. I'm a contract employee. We teach the class statewide, basically in the spring and the fall.
Awesome. Thanks, Tom. Nicole.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole Steele. I'm with the Work Zone Safety and Flagger Training. I just started with LTAP, I want to say early summer. And I also work for MnDOT. So we utilize this program throughout. So we love it. So
Thanks, Nicole. And then Anthony?
Hi, I'm Anthony Stamp from Grand Junction, Colorado. I got started training. I don't know if anybody's heard of TPC training, but if it has anything to do with a power plant, electrical, HVAC, or whatever, they offered a maintenance welding kind of a elective, and I got started with them in 2015 or 16, but got started with LTAP shortly thereafter. I don't know, 2016, almost immediately, and been to a lot of different states throughout the country as to help people with maintenance welding.
Awesome. Thank you. And then Ed?
Hey everybody, I'm Ed Rutledge. I teach the roadside vegetation management course. I'm a contract employee, and also very new. So just taught first class back this past spring in April. So yeah, it's been a great way to give back to my peers.
Glad to have you, Ed. Mike,
Likewise.
let's see here. What do you think, Mike? How should we start with some questions?
Well, let's see.
Folks online, I'll just say this. We have a couple of questions that we can kind of throw out to the instructors, but if you have questions online, feel free to put those in the Q&A box and we'll pass those around as they come in, or I can also just enable the chat really quickly here. So whatever is easiest for you, see if you'll let me do that. Looks like it's not letting me do that. I'll enable it at some point here. Throw it wherever it works.
Well, let's start with, I don't know, and maybe, well, like Ed, you've already kind of addressed this, but like what made you apply? Or, and this is just, again, I'm just throwing softballs out here to anybody who wants to answer it, jump on in, but
Yeah,
like what made you apply? Or
yeah. I guess
what
I do.
brought you to apply?
I guess I do enjoy teaching others. I guess I kind of throughout my professional career, I like sharing my knowledge, and also have appreciated those that have taken the time to teach me things. So in a way, I find it as a way to give back. So I just have an enjoyment, and particularly this group of folks in local transportation agencies. I have a great deal of respect for, and that's my full-time position is in a transportation agency. So I do like giving back there. I guess I can speak to the process. Applying was easy. Real smooth. As Natalie mentioned, Mike's pretty easy guy to work with. Onboarding was smooth, and my class doesn't come up a bunch, so it's pretty easy going on my end. But I'm sure for the courses that are taught more frequently, it would be much of the same. So yeah, it's been a great way. Also, great way to just kind of meet new people throughout the state and network. So it's been quite enjoyable. So again, just kind of nice to network as well and get to know other folks in our sector here.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ed.
You bet.
Nicole, how about you? I wanna pick your brain since what brought you to apply? Because well, I mean, we first met each other. Where was it? Down in St. Peter?
yes, at I think it was a transportation expo.
Yes.
But I had seen LTAP before that at ATSA in North Dakota.
Okay.
When I think that, yeah, it was in North Dakota when I was up there. So I was always kind of curious about it, but then I got to meet you guys more personal over at the expo. So that's where, yeah, onboarding was super simple. our little interview. That was really fun. So it wasn't really an interview. It was more of a, hey, how you doing? Do you want to do this? Sure. The best part is I'm already doing this with MnDOT. So in order to just do it with LTAP with the U of M, it's just an easy slide over for me. And I, like Ed, love teaching people. Always have. It's, to me, it's enjoyable, and the networking is very fun. I love people, so I enjoy it, and I love driving. So
Tom, how about you? So now because you've been with LTAP for how many years did you say?
Well, 17 is when I started, when I was with Alex Tech, but I retired from the State Patrol Commercial Vehicle Section 2017. And driving a forklift at Menards just wasn't doing it for me. So I needed something to do. This opportunity came up. I'd been into the training, the truck weight education class a few different times while I was still working. So, and I know there's interest out there for this. And I was, because of my background, I was eager to, help solve those issues, questions that come up regarding truck weight.
And I know I got to say, like, my very first personal experience with LTAP was my family's transportation company. In 2015, I attended the truck weight course when it was held in St. Cloud. And like Tom, you had mentioned, like, there's demand for it. Yeah, that course I don't think there was an empty seat that day when when I was at that course. And no, and the information that we were able to bring back to our company and share it with the other drivers, I thought that was incredibly helpful. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
very, very good program.
yeah,
I'm glad to be part of it.
sure. And Anthony, you're kind of our road warrior down there out of Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm just gonna let you just get the softball to kind of tell some of your stories.
I think what I like, yeah, I like training people, but getting to go to so many different places is fun to me. I don't have to work in the same place all the time. I think I've never been somebody that could show up at the same place to work. I think I had a job like that one time. I thought I was going to shoot myself in the head. Just didn't work for me. So I needed to be able to travel someplace and go to work. And I've had sales jobs in the past, been district manager for Purina. I guess that's what moved me up here to Colorado was I was a district manager for Purina Mills back in the 90s for 10 years. And it kind of got me started going to see people on a daily basis. It was Purina dealers all over Western Colorado and the whole state of Utah and part of New Mexico even. So kind of working a territory, but my sales job evolved into training because I needed to, it was more fun than sales. Training is a whole lot more fun than trying to sell somebody something. So I've been able to go to Virginia and Montana and like I said earlier, Alaska just last month. So it's pretty fun. I got a bucket list of places I really like to go, and LTAP has been very good to me. So
Good. No, thank you. So Natalie, do you see the questions in the Q&A? Or
Yeah, I thought I would do a quick
sure.
jump over to one of those. So we have a question about, are most of our classes offered outside of the maintenance season? And yes, so we have two ways that we offer classes relevant to this conversation. We have regularly scheduled classes, so like the ones that Tom does, those are offered typically late fall. And then in another set in the spring. Some of our classes are in winter. You know, we try to work around, you know, not too late into the winter, you know, working around the snow situation, keep things virtual in those cases. And then we also do agency requested training. So what that means is the agencies just kind of say, hey, can we do a training around this date or maybe exactly this date? And then we work with you guys to see what works with your schedule. And so we try to coordinate that. And, you know, depending on what it is, we'll, you know, kind of maybe put you and the agency together. I think maybe Anthony, you kind of work with the agency versus with temporary traffic control. We kind of handle that on our end. But typically we don't get a ton of training requests, I will say, from agencies during maintenance season. Everybody's out in the field. Does anybody have any comments on that?
Mm,
And then, and if you were to be the instructor for any of the classes, we don't set the date, you know, like we have some regularly offered classes, let's say November, December, March, April. We work with you directly on those. Like we don't just set the date and expect you to show up. We work with your schedule. In particular, we have like Nicole and Ed, you guys work full-time jobs. So we're not, we're working with you on that. And again, leaning back to that flexibility. We do what works for you. You know, we also try to do what's going to work for local agencies. We're not going to do something on a Friday before the holiday, you know, noon to 5 or something like that. So we also have a question about the contract. So contracting is pretty straightforward. It's just kind of a way for us to pay you, really. It's not like sometimes some people do prefer to go through their employer for contracts. That's up to you. We'll go either way. It's probably more straightforward for you to contract with us directly, but we have had some instructors go through their employer as well. So it's kind of what you decide to work out. And the contract is for as many classes as we, you know, depends on the class, right? How many of them do we offer? When do we offer it? Is it multiple locations? Like truck weight has, is it 4 classes this fall? Versus another class might just be once in a fiscal year. So it really kind of depends. But typically for contracts, we'll just do whatever that contract period is. So if you're doing 1 class in the spring, that's that contract period. And then we'll just kind of, and it's pretty straightforward. It's not a long process. So we don't contract, let's say, for 3 years at a time. It's more like by training instance.
Tom, how many do you have in the fall? Is it 4 or 5?
5 this fall, and then we typically do 8 to 10 in the spring. And we move them around statewide, you know, being cognizant of the different industries, you know, their harvest time and, you know, work times or whatever. So
Sure.
try to be cognizant of that.
Yep. Well, because we want to get the most people attending these as possible. And let's see where else. Outside.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah, Anthony.
with respect to as many people attending as possible, I get this question a lot, and that is, how many people can, you know, attend this? And I always tell people to, when it comes to maintenance welding, the attendee is the number of students is determined by the number of welders, machines that are available. And because I don't want, you know, if we've got, say, 2 machines, you don't want a class of 20 and, you know, 10 people at each machine. I tell them if you've got 2 machines, then you probably need, you know, maybe 4 to 5 people per machine. So
Right. That's a good point. You don't want a lot of standing around. You know, you value the hands-on portion of the training.
Amen, for sure. And I've even had some agencies, you got a host agency, which is usually a county shop, and I've had a neighboring host agency that came to it, brought some people, and they even brought a machine. They got a brand spanking new welder. It was barely out of the package. They never fired it up or anything. And so it was like Christmas. You know, we got to fire up a new machine and it was super fun. So whenever agencies can contribute something, everybody wins that way for sure.
And we do have one last question here in the chat. Do these classes cross over with ATSA or IMSA work zone training? Mike, are you familiar with that?
I guess I'm not sure how. I guess I'm not. I guess I'm not super familiar with either. Nicole, do you have any? I mean, do you have any knowledge on the ATSA or IMSA work zone training?
So are you asking like, are we at the show for that? Like how we were at the expo? Or are they asking, do you get credit when you go there? I'm not quite sure on the question.
Yeah, no, and I think we're all in the same boat there. We do attend ATSA. That, you know, and I think that's an incredibly valuable conference to attend for traffic, you know, and transportation related. But yeah, I guess to be completely honest.
So I guess I'd want a little bit
Okay,
more.
so here's the clarification. Is the material the same?
Oh, well, I would say yes, the material would be the same. If you're going to the, like, for instance, for ours, the work zone safety and flagger training, it's the same whether I'm teaching it for MnDOT or if I'm teaching it with LTAP. It's the same
Right.
program. If that's, does that make clarification?
Yeah, I think so. Does that clarify? I'm just kind of waiting for a.
There we go. That works.
Yep, perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
glad I could help.
No.
All right, well, we're at time here, and Mike, I'd like
Yeah.
to share the link on the screen to where we can find the job page. But I want to also thank all of our instructors who are on the call today. Thank you all so much for being here, answering questions. We really appreciate that. It's super helpful. And for those of you on the call, if you have any more questions for a particular instructor, just let us know. We have, we're going to share our email address here in a second on the screen for you to reach out if you have more questions.
Did that come up?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
And we'll also, after the webinar, send everyone an email with this information as well, so you have it in your inbox in case you forget to write it down.
Yeah.
And with that.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Any final questions? Ed, Nicole, like if anybody, Tom, I know Tom, you probably are chasing grandkids today too yet, but it, I don't know if anybody had any last second questions, but otherwise our link for the LTAP jobs is up there. I don't know, Natalie, can we hang around if anybody else has to leave to answer any other questions or?
Sure, we can hang around. But thank you to everybody else.
Yeah.
We'll give it a couple seconds here, see if anyone else has questions. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch, guys.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you all later. Have a great one.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you.
So yeah.
See, there's a couple people still here.
Because I can't see that on my end, but
If anybody wants to talk, you can raise your hand.